security cameras watch the dark corridors of a prison, an officer on routine monitoring is confronted with something that defies all logic. In an inmate's cell, an unexpected presence appears, not an authorized visitor, but something that shouldn't be there. A small figure, apparently a child, briefly materializes behind the prisoner. The team watches in real time, but when they arrive to investigate, the apparition is simply gone. Every corner of the cell is meticulously inspected, but no physical signs or clues explain what happened. Now, the question remains, who or what was captured on camera? A trick of the mind, a technical illusion, or something much more enigmatic? In the end, it's impossible to ignore the uneasiness that hangs over those corridors. What do you think happened? Before continuing, subscribe to the channel and make sure the next scares come straight to you. Ready? Let's move on to the next video. While filming in an abandoned hospital, which was used as a temporary set, the security team noticed unsettling sounds echoing through the hallways. However, nothing seemed out of place until the surveillance footage was reviewed. In the footage, we see a completely empty hallway, shrouded in absolute silence. Suddenly, a translucent figure appears out of nowhere. It moves slowly, crossing the space like a living shadow. Its indistinct form appears human, but something about it is eerily different. The entity walks to a door and disappears, seconds before several crew members enter the same hallway. None of them seem to notice the mysterious presence. Could it be the spirit of a former patient, or just an unexplained phenomenon? The footage raises more questions than it answers, leaving a sense of unease that still haunts those who witnessed it. In a silent vigil, under the cover of darkness, attentive police officers witness something that defies all logic. What they saw is not just a whisper of collective imagination. It was recorded, crystallizing the moment in images that now intrigue everyone. The captured video reveals something surprising. A translucent figure moving in an inexplicable way. The team's unanimous vision is accompanied by concrete evidence. But it leaves us with a disturbing question. Why would something so serious and disturbing be staged, especially in a police station, a symbol of order and seriousness? Is it a genuine manifestation, an ingeniously forged illusion, or something that challenges our understanding of the world? In the end, each of us must confront our own beliefs, but the question remains, do you believe what you see or choose to ignore what you do not understand? In the heart of a small town, dark stories began to circulate. Gabur Park, once known for its natural beauty, became synonymous with fear. Residents reported unusual sounds, unsettling sights, and the feeling that they were being watched. Determined to find out the truth, some set up cameras equipped with motion sensors along the trails, hoping to capture something that might confirm the rumors. In the early hours of a chilly morning around midnight, the devices began to record activity. Although no human presence was visible, the cameras captured something peculiar. A pale light, almost like an ethereal mist floating between the trees. It was as if something intangible was moving, invisible to the naked eye but revealed by technology. Days later, a local driver passing through the park recorded something even more terrifying. His vehicle's dashcam captured nebulous shapes that seemed to glide across the road. Most disturbing, however, were the elusive figures moving at high speed, almost as if they were fleeing. These images, analyzed by curious people and experts, left everyone perplexed. Today, Gibber Park is considered a place where the unknown seems to reign. Those who have dared to walk along its trails or drive along the surrounding road report a mixture of fascination and terror. The shadows captured in the images remain unexplained. Could they be lost souls, unknown natural phenomena, or just the fruit of imagination on a dark night? It's up to you to decide, but one thing is certain. Few dare to explore the park after nightfall. While working his night shift, a security guard had an experience that defied any logical explanation. He reports witnessing something that left him completely astonished. At first it seemed like just another peaceful night, but that quickly changed. At one point, while observing his surroundings, the guard claims to have noticed an unexpected movement. He describes in his own account that a translucent form appeared out of nowhere, hovering above him and moving slowly towards the door. The event was so disturbing that he tried in vain to maintain his composure in front of the security camera. Reviewing the footage later, he was even more perplexed when he saw the figure captured on the video. The form seemed ethereal, almost as if it belonged to another world. The feeling of being watched remained, increasing his apprehension even more.
Look at I saw that shit. I saw that shit. See, I saw that shit. And I'm like, and then it disappeared over there by the desk. And I was like, okay. So I looked at the camera. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna calm down. So I wanted to tell the camera, y'all see that shit? Y'all saw that shit, right? I'm telling CHA, did y'all see that?
To this day, the security guard cannot explain what happened that night. Was it a supernatural manifestation, or just an illusion caused by fatigue? One thing is certain. The episode left its mark and raised questions that remain unanswered, transforming that night into a mystery that few dare to face. In certain environments, admitting to having experienced something strange is a risk. The perception of unusual events, however clear, is often dismissed as the result of daydreams or fantasies. The fear of not being taken seriously prevents them from speaking out, while collective doubt turns extraordinary experiences into complicit silences. These stories end up remaining buried, trapped between personal certainty and the fear of discredit. But what happens when the inexplicable can no longer be ignored? Perhaps the real question is not just what is happening, but why we prefer not to know. In the recording, the guard can be heard walking through the hallways. Suddenly, an unexpected noise echoes in the empty space. Something is thrown in an inexplicable way, clearly making him apprehensive. He begins to investigate, but his uneasiness increases as the environment seems to become more oppressive. Then, in an instant, the electricity in the entire building is cut off. The silence is interrupted only by a disturbing sound coming from far away. The camera records the guard's reaction, who seems convinced that something unnatural is present there. After the incident, the guard decides to leave the place immediately, ending his shift early. He never returned to work. Was it just a frightening coincidence or a real encounter with something evil? The answer remains shrouded in mystery, as does the warehouse he was guarding. On a lonely night, a security guard in charge of looking after an abandoned wing of a hospital recorded something that defies explanation. The section had been deactivated for months, and he was the only one there when strange sounds began to echo through the hallway. The noises seemed to get closer, more and more intense, until he decided to record it. A few seconds after the start of filming, something frightening happened. A figure that looked almost transparent slowly leaned into the frame. With a brown hue and contours that defied logic, the entity seemed to be peering from another world. It did not move like a human being, which led many to believe that it was a spirit trapped in that deactivated wing. The recording remains one of the most disturbing records of unexplained phenomena in hospitals. In a building marked by the weight of time, a newly hired security guard carries out his night patrol. The place, a former college, is full of rumors of hauntings that span generations. Many report visions of the spirit of a young man who met his tragic end there years ago. As he walks through the empty corridors, the officer's camera records the sound of footsteps echoing in the silence. Suddenly, something interrupts the monotony. A dark figure appears at the end of the corridor and quickly disappears behind a wall. The guard freezes, his heavy breathing captured by the microphone. The search for answers reveals only emptiness. There was no one there. What did he see? Was it the shadow of the young man whose story haunts the place, or a trick of the darkness? Between cold corridors and whispers of the past, the mystery remains. What is your theory? In the cramped attic of an old house, Kamilka remains isolated, her screams echoing off the walls. The family, unsure of what to do, calls the authorities, who arrive at the scene but hesitate to go up into the cramped, dark space.
Jezu, jak to ona tak warczy? Ja pierdzielę. No, totalnie. Pierdolę, ja dostaję tylko 50 zł, kurwa. Idź tam do... Uważaj.
Kamila!
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzi. Nie? Drut ma jakiś.
Outside the house, the police officers watch carefully. Their flashlights are directed at a small window in the attic, the only visible access point. Suddenly, a deafening scream pierces the silence of the night. It is Kamilka. Her voice sounds terrified, but no one can see her clearly. The police officers, paralyzed, no longer try to approach her. The attic plunges into deathly silence once again.
Tu jesteś, chodź, misiu. Nie bardziej jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwo. Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, tu też cię widzę. To nie czołgaj się. Kamilka. To dziecko cię woła. Kamilka. Wiktoria cię woła.
What happened to her to make her like this? What do you guess?